Hello, hello, hello. I know this takes a second to let people know or announce. Hey y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm gonna give it a couple of seconds to let everybody in. Grab 1 second. Hi y'all. Hey. Happy Friday. Y'all, I've been thinking Friday has been the whole week since Monday, because Monday was Halloween, and it's a holiday, not whatever. So it felt like Friday. Then Tuesday felt like Friday. Wednesday, Kennedy had like an off day, like no live classes, so that felt like Friday. And then Thursday, I was like, I know it's Friday. So today is finally Friday. So I'm happy. I'm like, yes, it's Friday. Okay, so I promise I won't be long, but I definitely wanted to just kind of hop on live today, because there are some things that I definitely wanted to kind of just touch on. I get this question so often, and so I was like, well, let me just finally do a little talk or Q&A. And actually, some of y'all did send me questions, except I don't know how to check it. I don't want to mess up the live, but okay, if y'all send me questions, you might have to resend them, because I don't know how to go and check. I don't know how to go check in the thing. I feel like I remember some of them. I know, let me write it down. I know one was sending your portfolio. Another was following up. So I'm going to have y'all just send me some questions again in the chat once we start talking. But and this will be saved. So if you're not here now and you're watching it later, it'll be on my main page. But so I wanted to first just start off by saying so much has changed over the since I started dancing, which was a million years ago. Y'all already know. This is 2022, right? So imagine 20 years ago was like 2002, right? Okay, so I'm just trying to I want to put everything into perspective so that everybody can understand how far we've come and where we are now, and how it can benefit you wherever you are in your journey or whatever. So in 2002, right? I remember just being like, ooh, I want to move to LA, because I just want to so much. I ain't know nothing about the industry. Not a clue. I got graduated and came back to Atlanta, and was substitute teaching and working with my dance team. And so then I did a movie, and then I was like, ooh, I want to do this some more. So I wanted to move, right? That was my initial way to get into the industry, was I had to move to LA, because Atlanta, there was nothing here. It was like, when I came back home after I graduated, it was nothing. There wasn't, if it was stuff here, we had the artists and stuff here, but there wasn't anything popping, right? So there wasn't agencies or anything like that in Atlanta. So I didn't even understand that anyway. So I moved to LA, right, in 2002. And so when I moved there, I'm moving, there is no social media. So let's just keep that clear. So no Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, like none of that existed. So I'm just literally out there trying to figure it out. And so for me, when I moved, I was like, like, oh my God, all the top agencies, really it's like, it was Block, LA. I know they had Clear, they had MSA. And so like all of those agencies was like premier, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it's hard to like, just ain't nobody just sliding into these agencies. Like you had to get referred, or, it wasn't just like, oh, I can dance and just sign me. It didn't work like that. So I knew when I first moved, I was like, I have to get an agent because I don't know nobody. Like, I don't know nothing. Like, I'm super new. I green, okay? Like, I'm like super green. I knew that I wanted to dance, and I knew I wanted to, I just had a taste for, the industry. And so I knew for me at that time, I was like, I have to get an agent. Like, I gotta, get an agent, because if there's if there are any auditions happening, they were all going through the agency. So it wasn't like, it was rare that there was, even if there was an open call, like if you found out about it, you found out word of mouth, or maybe like an email newsletter or something like that. But it wasn't like super, open to everybody. So you had to have an agent to like be able to even get invited to the audition. So how do I get the agent? Okay, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, I got to get signed. Like, I need an agent. And so this is me in 2002 now. I'm trying to bring everybody back 20 years. So we got to go back before we come forward to the future, to the present. 2002, there was the only way to work and the only way to get in on gigs was like, you either had to be signed and, try to, get the audition information so that you could know what's happening, or obviously relationships. And so, for me, I was like, well, let me make sure I'm, trying to build relationships, but I got to get signed for me because I know I'm going to be competing with a bunch of other dancers. And so how do I get signed? Okay. Ooh, I need a referral. So Chuck Maldonado referred me to Block, LA, to set up just an interview. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, let's have a conversation first and let's see if you're a fit for our agency, like if we are a good match. Because the thing that everybody forgets is like, it's a relationship. It's not just I want to sign with this agency because they got such and such and such and such and such and such and they do this, and it's like, okay, no, I want to sign with this agency or be a part of this agency because I feel like this is a great partnership. Like, this is going to be a great opportunity for me to grow as a dancer. I'm going to work hard, and then I feel like they're going to provide me with opportunity. So when I first interviewed, they were like, oh, let me see your stuff. So I'm like, well, I probably put together like a, super simple reel or whatever of me dancing. Like, I had not done enough work. Like, I literally had done the movie, and the movie wasn't even out yet. So I couldn't even like be like, oh, here's some clips of me dancing in drum lines. Like, the movie ain't out yet, so I don't even have that to show. And then I was like, I did a video, with an artist, and I was like, well, I just did a video. And so they was like, well, I mean, okay, let's wait like 6 months and then let's try to, reconnect. Like, oh, okay. Because in my mind, I'm like such a dope dancer. Like, everybody is like, yeah, everybody in their minds thinks they are like incredible, which is great. Like, you should think that, you should feel that. But when you start thinking about you're competing amongst others, right? And so people forget, like, okay, so you have an agency, right? And let's just say, like, for me, when I was trying to get signed to Block LA, they already had a certain number of black girls that was like working, right? And so I'm like, well, shoot, I want to sign, because I feel like, this is where I need to be. But in their minds, they're like, okay, are you a working dancer? Meaning, are you bookable? Meaning, I won't have issues submitting you for things and you're going to start working, right? Now, if I have not worked yet, like my resume is like whatever, and this and this, they're like, yeah, you're a great dancer, but okay, let's get some work in. Let's you know what I'm saying? Let's get this resume a little bit better. Let's start getting some stuff under your belt. Let's start building. Let's start networking. Let's start getting some relationships. Let me see you out here really trying to do it, and then let's talk again in 6 months. And so that's what they did. It was like, yeah, let's holler at us again in about 6 months. So in that 6 months, I was in every class as far as choreographers that I knew. Because again, now this ain't no social media. So let me just keep throwing that out so everybody's clear. There is no social media. So this is all, you got to show up to the spot that's gonna make it make sense. Okay, so I need to be in that moment. I need to make sure I'm doing this carnival piece. I need to connect with this choreographer. I need to be doing all the things I know I need to do so that I can start to work. Because this agency talking about, yeah, holler at us in 6 months. Let's see what you've done in 6 months. You know, there's no Instagram, no social media. Remember that now. So how am I going to do that? Okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm putting myself in positions to connect with the people that's going to hire me, that's going to book me, that's going to help me with my resume building so that I can create yet another reel. Because the reel that I just gave them 6 months ago, that wasn't enough. So like, what else we going to do? So in that time, I'm networking with people that I know are in position to hire me as a dancer. I have gone to the classes. I'm training in the spaces that I know this is a space that's going to make sense because I'm consistent with this choreographer and I know, oh my God, they got a job coming up. Let me make sure that I'm making that connection. There's a choreographer. He doesn't teach. He don't teach no classes, but I need to get hired by him. So where is he going to be at? Oh, you about to be at Carnival show? Okay, I'm pulling up in there. You going to be at where situation? A little. Yeah, I'm pulling up in there. I'm connecting and making it make sense. And so if you are not doing that in the beginning, you cannot expect to just all of a sudden get signed and then you're just going to start working. It's like it doesn't even connect or make sense. And so when you're saying, okay, I want to get signed to a certain agency, you got to start thinking about, okay, who else is with that agency that looks like me, right? And who else? Okay, how many of those people are there? Okay, cause see, hopefully you would have been doing. You got to be doing homework. You definitely can't be talking about you trying to be signed somewhere and you don't even know what the roster is. You don't even know who's actually working there. Who's signed? Like I knew everybody that was at Block. I knew their names. I knew their first and last name. I knew like how old they were. I knew where they came from because I'm in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to work with these folks. So okay, they got 4 black girls that I know their names in and out. I know their resumes. I know what jobs they've been on because I'm trying to be on them jobs. If you're not doing that and you're focused on I gotta get signed, then that ain't how it work. It's like, yeah, I can dance next to such and such, such and such, such and such, who is also signed with you. I can also work with such and such because I just did a job with that person. I just worked on a project. Oh, I just connected with da 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 da. Like you're doing the work, right? And so once you start doing the work, then that's when all of the things that you're trying to get done is going to come to you. So it's never backwards. It's never like, you can't just pull up and you ain't really did nothing and expect these things because, I mentioned yesterday, I'm a dope dancer. It's like, yeah, everybody dope though. Everybody's dope. So, what else? It's like, oh, okay, are you thinking about going into acting? Have you tried to get on some TV shows, movies, getting acting roles? Like, are you submitting yourself for that? And so before you start going down the agency route, like we have to put those things in place first. It's like you literally have to work for yourself as if you're your own agent. And so let's fast forward to where y'all are now. We in 2022 and we in the era of social media. Like people that I dance with, we all joke like, man, if I had social media when I was dancing, man, I would, whatever. And we have this whole thing that we can laugh about because we just know how great of an opportunity you guys have like today to create opportunity to work without having to have an agent, right? And so, like I said, the biggest misconception is that, you know, oh, I'm signed now. I got an agent. Oh my God, yes, great, awesome. And you think you about to just sit at the crib and just wait for them to just keep emailing you and keep calling you and keep texting you. Yes, you got this job and you booked on this and you booked on that and you booked on this. Like, oh my God, like, yeah. You know, like that happens when that person has been there for 10 years. When that person has been working like consistently nonstop for however long, like on their own, on his or her own, right? Establishing relationships they built, because that's how that happens, because now they're in demand. And so really all it is somebody calling the agency to book them. It's like, I've reached that point of, you know, I don't even really have to be auditioning like that, or, you know, even really submitted anymore like that, because I have put in the work in the beginning and throughout however long I've sustained my career, to where it ain't even like the agent ain't really got to do nothing. But hey, I just got booked on this thing and here's the information, and the agent is agenting the job at that point. And it's not a thing of like the hustle and grind of trying to book the dancer. The dancer has done the work. And so if you're not doing that in the beginning, it's going to be really difficult for you to get into a relationship with an agent and expect all of a sudden they're just going to like take your career to the next level, and without you having had to do the work. So when you think about, okay, I want to get signed, which I think every dancer, if you're serious and at some point you're like, oh my God, like this is my life, I'm going to do this forever, and you're trying to grow and go beyond dancing and all that, yes, you want to try to get an agent. But the agent is not a thing that you should be putting all your eggs in the basket in the beginning, because you're banking on getting the agent and then I can start working. It's like, no, why are we waiting for the agent to get us to start working? And a lot of dancers use that excuse as to why they are not working, or why they don't have the relationship, or why I just don't know what's going on, or I haven't heard. It's like, now you can find out what's going on. Like, you can create your own opportunity. The social media game, like I said, the social media game is the agent right now. If you don't have an agent, social media is where you can be finding the artist, finding the tour, finding the choreographer, finding the gig, finding the show, finding the movie, finding you name it. Finding the commercial. You can find it on social media. And so you can sit back at home and be like, oh, I don't have no agent. Like, it's hard for me to find work. And, you know, no, that's not true. That's a great excuse. And if you want to believe that, then cool. But that's not the way that you're going to say you can't work. Because I know tons of dancers that are not signed, and they work nonstop. And it's really a choice of them deciding if they want an agent, you know, and if they decide they want an agent, great. It's still it's a reciprocity with the agent. So now, okay, I've been working, I'm working nonstop, I'm putting in, I updated my reel, my resume is popping. I'm ready to get signed. Okay. I did my duty, right? I did my part, and I'm not going to stop doing my part, but now I want somebody to handle my jobs. I want somebody to agent my jobs, meaning, yes, I'm going to bring jobs to the agency, and then yes, the agent is going to submit me for jobs as well. So it's a twofold. But what you cannot in your minds think that once you get an agent that all of a sudden it's only them doing it. No, you can't stop doing what you was doing before. So then it just creates that influx of opportunities both ways, right? And you can do that now. Like, you don't have to wait until you get an agent to all of a sudden start working. It's like, no. I can go down the list of dancers that never had an agent, and they bust their ass, like constantly working, trying to create opportunity, you know, here and there, wherever it was, so that they can, one, build their resume, build their reel. So now we have a body of work, a body of relationships, opportunities, jobs I've done. I'm a working dancer. Now I want representation so that I can go and do other things that maybe I don't have relationships with. So yes, agents have relationships with other jobs and directors and all that, right? It's absolutely an opportunity that you want to be able to understand. But at the same time, knowing what it is when you're going in, like, okay, yes, but I can't stop doing what I'm doing because I'm signed now. And so if you can just get the energy that you think you're about to have when you're signed, have it first. Like, don't wait until you get the agent. Have it now. Have in your mind, like, yeah, I'm signed. I'm actually signed to me. Okay, cool. Whatever your name is, entertainment, blah, whatever. And so I'm out here trying to find the gigs. I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to network. You know, again, social media has made it so, like, accessible to managers and labels and artists and, you know, choreographers, creative directors. Like, you literally, y'all, I mean, Instagram can book you for stuff. So you don't have to no longer use the excuse of, oh, I ain't got no agent, so I can't work. It's like, what? No, that's like crazy. It's crazy. So knowing your expectations, knowing the agent's expectations, because in the same breath, they expect for you to be on your shit. They not about to be hunting you down, telling you, oh, you need to update your reel. Oh, you need to update your resume. You just won't be getting no calls. You won't be getting no texts or emails. You won't be getting no submissions. It's going to be like, I went through that. I literally was, like I told a story in my story. I was at my apartment in LA and I realized like a month had passed and I was like, damn, I ain't heard shit. I ain't heard nothing. And, you know, they're like, oh, you know, it's slow. It's, you know, it's not a lot of stuff coming in and da 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 da. And so, you know, you could just, I could have, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's slow. And I used that as an excuse as to why sometimes I wasn't working, like, consistently. Like, I would have gaps of, like, in between time. And granted, it might be a great job that happens here, but when you're not doing something for a month and a half to get to the next one, like, that ain't gonna work. And so in your mind, you might be banking on the agent getting you some work, and see, that's not how it happens. You can bank that the agent, yes, is submitting you and, like, you know, doing whatever stuff comes in, you know, you think you're in the pile. But let's not bank on that. Let's say, okay, that's happening, and I'm gonna make sure I'm doing what I need to do. I'm gonna let me slide on to these choreographers. Let me make sure I'm sending back out my reels to a project I might have just finished, and now I'm, you know, hey, thank you again for the opportunity. Here's my updated reel resume. Like, I look forward to working with you again. It's like you gotta keep it going. You can't be out of sight, out of mind, and that's what you end up doing sometimes when you're signed to an agency. Out of sight, out of mind. You probably ain't talked to them. You ain't checked in. You like, oh, I'm just chilling. You know, I'm expecting everything. Nah. So when you say, okay, I'm signed to an agency, what are your expectations? What does that mean? Like, I'm signed to an agency. So I'm expecting for what? What are you expecting? You expecting to always hear from them? Are you expecting to just assume they're submitting you? Are you expecting to know everything that's going on? Are you expecting to just always be booked? Are you because I know dancers that are signed and they're never booked all the time. And so what does that mean? So are we all doing our part? It's a relationship. It's a relationship. If you are in the position right now and some of y'all ask, okay, you know, can I submit my stuff to an agency? Most agencies right now, they're not taking clients because they are full, or they've met the, you know, if it's an agency that has a diversity of, you know, whether it's ethnicities, heights, making sure that they have a blonde, brunette, whatever, like redhead, like they have a certain number. And so you gotta, okay, where I fit in? If I'm trying to get into an agency, where do I fit into that? And then you start saying, all right, well, then that means I need to get myself to the level of whoever is already signed. How do I do that? Okay, I need to get working. Like, I got to get working. I got to show why I need to be signed to this agency, not just because I'm a dope dancer. Like, that ain't enough. That ain't enough. I made the correlation with artists. Same thing. Like, oh my God, I'm dope, sign me. And, you know, labels, they're like, yeah, what you mean? Like, are you constantly, you know, promoting yourself? Are you, you know, what's your content like? What's your Instagram like? What's your socials like? Like, you got music out? Are you on Spotify, iTunes? Have you done any videos, content, visuals? Like, what are you doing for me to say, I'm going to sign you? That it's the same thing to me as with the agent. Like, what are you doing to say, I'm going to sign you? Because at the end of the day, it's almost like they really are working for you, not the other way around. So now I got to be like, yeah, I got to make sure my shit together, because I need this relationship. It's got to make sense. And if you're not doing that, like if you ain't even touched the surface of talking about the stuff that I need to be taken care of, and you screaming about I need an agent, then that shouldn't even be coming out your mouth. You should be saying, let me make sure my ish is together. It's evident. I got all my stuff. For this last year, I've done this, and this. I'm working on this. I plan on doing this. I got this coming up. I've already made this connection. I have a relationship with this director and this. It's like, you got to do that. You can't wait on the agent, because they got other clients. It's an agency. It's a lot of other people. It's not just you. And so most of the time, dancers think, you know, they at the crib thinking that the agent is like, you know, you're the only person that they're concerned about or worried about, and it ain't the case. It's not. So remember, it's your career that's the focal point. And so if you are not doing your part, in the beginning, and then once we get to a space where you're like, yeah, I just did this, and this. Yeah, we having conversations. The agent like, yes, okay, you about to bring some value to my thing. All right, you know, like, oh my God, you just did a movie. Oh my God, you just worked on whatever. Okay, cool. Let's have a conversation. And then we start talking about goal. Like, if y'all not saying what y'all goals are in the next 3, 6, 9 year, like, and you're expecting you just want to get signed, like, you got to already have that in your mind. Like, I know if I get signed within this next year, I want to see this, and this. And stick to it. And so now we both have a responsibility to making sure that some of these things that we're wanting is happening. It's like, okay, in 3 months, I definitely want to make sure I have worked with such and such and such and such and such and such. Okay, in a year, I absolutely want to make sure I have at least been submitted for however many number of movies that are coming through the agency, yada, yada, yada. Like, if you're not having them type of conversations, this ain't no relationship. And so you're, again, depending on the agent. And like, no, it's your responsibility. That's your job. Like, you are the talent. Like, it's my career. So I'm about to be on my shit first. And I'm saying, yeah, I'm doing this, and this. Okay, so what we got coming up? I'm checking in. I'm not sitting at home waiting by the phone, expecting a call. It never turns out good. You will literally be starving to death, and you thought, oh my God, I just got signed, and now, crickets. So yes, I'm signed, and yes, I'm still talking to this choreographer, and yes, I'm still hitting up that person. Okay, yes, I've already emailed this director. I've already hit up that casting director. I've already talked to this producer. She's got a project coming out. You know, I'm trying to get submitted for that. Oh yeah, no, I'm hitting up everybody. Like, and I'm finding out the jobs that I don't know about. Okay, let me hit up my girl that's she out in LA. I heard it's something popping. Let me find out about it, and then I'll let my agent know about it, because I'm going to go to that. Like, y'all have to do that work, because the just getting signed to the agent ain't gonna be the thing that everybody thinks is gonna just be the savior. It's like, oh no, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. So what you need to do now to start, if you're not signed, you need to look at yourself and say, what value am I going to bring to this agency? What do I have that I can, it's like, yes, you're going to have to sign me, because I'm undeniable. I'm going to be working constantly. I've already established these relationships. I've been working with this choreographer. I've done this, and this. Now, yes, okay, yeah, let's talk. You got value. You gonna bring some stuff to me. So yes, and I'm going to make sure that I'm putting you in front of whoever I need to put you in front of, submitting you for whatever I need to submit you for, because it's a relationship. So we're not about to say we're going to just all of a sudden get signed and then everybody's just going to start working nonstop. It's like, that's a dream deferred all the way. It's never happening like that. You will think that it will, but it's not like that. And so if you understand that mentally, then you're going to be great when you get to the point where you're signed, because you know that you still got to work. You still got to do the same thing that you was doing in the beginning, because you'll get comfortable and think, oh yeah, I'm good now. Shoot, they're going to always be submitting me. I'm always going to be working. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I joked the other night in the coaching call, because, you know, people, y'all forget, it's like, it's a business. It's a business. So if you're on a job, and, you know, it ain't working out quite right? And, yeah, you know, you might not be there. That agent is on the next thing smoking, bringing some more dancers in. They like, yeah, hey, yeah, I got, let me send over these dancers. They're available. They meet the criteria, whatever. So like, remember, you're still competing. And so while you get comfortable, they're always ready for the next thing. It's like you get released from a job or whatever or you're unavailable. They're bringing in the next person. It's like they're waiting in the wings. It's a business. It's a business. And so y'all have to treat it as such. It ain't no, oh, I'm signed and now I'm great, I'm good. Nah. And, you know, y'all should vet, you know, make sure that like I said, when I signed to Block, I knew everybody on the roster. I knew who was working, who was on the stages, who was on the tours that I was trying to be on. I'm like, who was already in the mix? Who was like, they got the A list, the B list, the C list dancers. I'm trying to get on the A list and I'm trying to dance with the A list. So who are they? What jobs are they on? Like, y'all ain't doing no research. Then that is the problem. You need to know who's working, who's always in the mix. Like, I know everything. I know their resumes. I knew what jobs they were on. It's like, that's how you like inundated you have to be about it. If you're saying you want to have an agent, it's easier to just say it, and then it's like, okay, I want an agent. I need an agent. It's like, okay, you want an agent? What you know about this agency? How many clients they got? How many black girls? How many white girls? How many Asian girls? How many black guys? Like, have you been on the websites? Have you gone through their resumes? Have you downloaded any of them? Have you seen any reels? Who are the choreographers there? Have you worked with any of them? Like, let's go do some homework, and then let's talk about, all right, I'm ready to get signed. Now, I done did my digging. I know who is working, who's hiring. I know their schedules, classes. It's like, we got to do more in that beginning stage. And it's great because y'all have so much access. Like, I'm telling y'all, the social media game is your agent right now until you get the agent. Social media game is going to be the way that you can find out all the things you need, because if this is such an integral part of your career and you're like, I have to have an agent so that I can, you know, take my career to the next level. You know, yes, I want to go into acting and I want to have somebody handling my business and yada, yada, yada. That's awesome. You know, but in the beginning, you got to be like realistic with where you are. Everybody's going to be different. Everybody's not going to have the same situation, scenario, yada, yada, yada. So you're like, okay, based on where I am right now, based on my talent, based on my work ethic, based on where I know I want to go, what I've done, whatever, like where do I see fit, you know, blah, blah, blah. And even if you don't have anybody in the agency that can refer you, it's like, most agencies is referral. It's like, they're not even trying to see or hear nobody. Like, they may have auditions, but you know, that's like once a year. So if you're trying to get signed, you know, you just got to do your due diligence now and start working on that, saying, okay, well, I need to make sure that I have my stuff together. Like, I had an interview and he's like, yeah, holler at us in 6 months when you get some more stuff. Like, we need more. Yes, you're a great dancer. Okay, awesome. Oh, you're from Atlanta. Awesome. But they weren't impressed. So I was like, dang, let me get my shit together. And that's what I did. And, you know, and then, yes, you become one of those working dancers, but are you bookable? Like, I can go down the list. Like, what you got on your Instagram page? Are y'all promoting yourself? You know, you want to be signed, but Do you have your stuff together on your Instagram? That's like the minimal start of it. Like, yes, I have my bio together. I have a linked profile. I have my email, contact number, yada, yada. Like, I'm doing that part. Okay, if you ain't doing that part, let's start there. And then if you're doing that, okay, great. Now let's continue. So I wanted to just kind of like throw out some of the, you know, the agent, dance agent relationship aspect that misconception, because, you know, dancers just automatically assume, you know, I mean, when you get signed that all of a sudden you're just gonna just continuously work. And a lot of the times when you see that happening, it's because that dancer has already done the work. They've already put in the time, the energy, the years. Like, you might be seeing something that was put in place 5 years ago, and now you're seeing all of a sudden, oh my God, they're working all time. It's like, yeah, but they've been putting in the work 5 years ago. We're just seeing the result of that. Yeah, it took 5 years for you to see the result of them constantly working, but they never stopped. They never let up, even though they got signed. So that's the difference of mentally understanding when you're going into a relationship with an agent, knowing like the work don't stop. The work that I was doing to get the agent does not stop. In fact, it increases even more, because I know that I'm responsible for bringing what I promised, which was value. I promised to this agency, I'm going to make sure I do what I need to be doing to be working. I gotta work. It's a business. It's like the agent ain't trying to just have no dancers on there just like for a hobby. Nah, like I said, it costs money. Them servers and websites and uploading all these resumes and headshots, and like them even having a template to be able to submit you to. It costs money. So we got to make the money. We got to bring money to, you know, the agency. So those are all like thoughts I'd be like trying to make sure dancers are understanding how this agency signing thing works. You might be the best dancer in the world. You probably run circles around everybody. But okay, what are you making sure that your stuff is together? Like, are you understanding what's needed on your end besides the dancing? Because now we're talking about business, like being booked. And so that's a whole nother list of stuff that I am not about to go down on this live. But I just wanted to kind of throw out some of that. Some other questions I know was like, how often should you, communicate with the agent? And I think it's definitely per client, base. Like, let's say, for instance, if I know I have a really great relationship, there's so many ways y'all could do it and play it. And some of y'all be like missing it, because agents are, yes, they are like, they're trying to, make sure you're working consistently, whatever. But that there are dancers that, like, to me, they always work because they have a great relationship with the agent. And so, if there's opportunity to being submitted for jobs that, like, we need such and such number of dancers, I want to be the first one you think about. It's like, I want to always be the first one you think about when they're saying, give me your top girls that are between the height of, or give me your top 3 girls that are between the height of 5, whatever, and da-da-da-da. Like, I want to be the first one you think about. Like, I want to be, like, making sure that, because out of sight, out of mind. If you ain't had no kind of communication in, like, weeks, months, they're not thinking about you. Just being honest. Because they're running a business, and there's so many other people that they are, having to make sure that the business is running. But at the end of the day, what can I do to make sure I have a great relationship with my agent? And this goes for managers too, but for agent, like, yeah, I'm checking in. I'm trying to develop a rapport. Sometimes when, like, my agents in LA, it was beyond business. Like, we literally would have, like, I would email like Jennifer, Tanisha, Lainey, Brendan, like, all the time, just other things that may be going on, and it may not necessarily be business related. but that creates a relationship. And so then, you know, when the opportunities that come, that it may be a random thing that's like coming, and it doesn't even have anything to do with necessarily a thing or a job or whatever. It's like, I want to be in consideration for that kind of stuff, because yes, they see me working hard, or they see me, you know, like doing things that's going to benefit myself and my career. It's like, yeah, like that's when you get rewarded for things like that. But if you don't ever, you ain't ever emailing or nothing, like you just chilling, and it's like it's not a relationship. Then it just becomes like, okay, it's business as usual, yes. But when you're talking about your career and it's dancing, and you're something that you're passionate about, and it ain't like, you know, it's not like a service type of thing where you're just, you know, you're paying money and then you get the service. It ain't that. Like, we got to build together. Like, I want to build something of value to whoever I'm working with. So that's like any type of relationship. And so think about that, you know, the smallest things, you know, like, oh, a Christmas card would be nice. Oh my God, a birthday card or whatever. Or, you know, just being considerate of those type of things helps in the long run. And that goes for everybody, from directors, choreographers, producers, castings. You know, I'm super like aware of things like that when people take the time out to even just say, thank you for the opportunity, although I didn't even get it. Wow. You know, when the last time somebody did that? You know, like, oh my God, thank you for even allowing me the opportunity to audition, even though I didn't book it. You know, like simple things like that. You know, that is how you don't stay out of sight, out of mind. Figuring out ways to make the relationship better outside of booking me a job. Okay, you booked me a job yet? Did you book a job? Like, even right back home, did you book a job? Did I book a job? Did you book a job? Like, okay, that's what it is. But building something that matters. And so that, you got to do that in the beginning. Y'all can't just look at all these agencies and like, oh my God, I just want to be signed. It's like, you know, acting as well. It's the same thing. And that's referred. Like, it's really difficult. So it's yes, it's a privilege to be signed, but at the same time, it's a privilege for them to have you as a client. And so having me as a client, what does that mean for me? Knowing, okay, these are things that I want, I aspire for, I want, and our goals I have. Like, when you come in like that, like if you come in like, I just want to get signed, okay, cool, okay, but I want to get signed because I'm trying to do this, and this. These are my goals. In 3 months, I see myself doing this. I plan to do this, and this. Like, these are the things I want to bring to this agency. Huh? Yes. Let's go. Like, okay, we working. But if you just want to get signed just to say you're signed and, you know, expect all of a sudden to start working nonstop, that's not how that works. So, leave a comment or in the chat or comment questions that you guys have. I can't remember some of the questions that was in my stories because I don't know how to go back and watch it without doing something weird to this live. But hold on, let me see if anybody asked a question. If you asked one and I didn't answer it, ask it again. Get myself to the level who's already signed. Yes. Yeah, the get yourself to the level of people that are signed is such a great scale to like go off of. Like, if y'all know dancers that are signed and you want to be signed to their agency or you want to be in that caliber, that's how you can like start to be like, oh, okay, this is the level I'm trying to get to, and then use that as a gauge. And hopefully, you know, it's not something that's just so far off. You know, again, like you can get an agent. It's not that serious. But not having an agent does not mean that you can't be just as successful, you know, and have a great thriving career either. So it's not an end all be all. It's like, oh my God, I don't have an agent and I'm never going to work. It ain't that, y'all. Y'all good. Like, it's great right now. I mean, dancers don't have to have an agent to work. So just be clear about that. If you want an agent, do what you need to do on your end to get the agent, because it's on you. It's going to be like, okay, I need an agent and I have shown why I need an agent, and this is why you should be signing me. Until then, start getting to work. I'm telling you, that's how it's gonna happen. And then just like the NBA draft, I can correlate this to the same draft. Okay, you think the NBA about to draft a player that's like, just sign me because I'm dope? Nah, what you been doing? What work you been putting in? Why should you get drafted to us? Why should we draft you? Like, what have you done? What work you been putting in? What have you? And that's how your mind can start to equate it. It's like, okay, well, why should they sign me? I've done this, and this. All right, then cool. But if you can't really answer that, and you're more focused on trying to get signed, and you ain't putting no work, no, it don't work like that. They're gonna say, holla at me, come back when you have done something. And it ain't even about necessarily booking and working. It's just, you got to just build some more. That's with anything. It ain't going to change just because, you're like, I need to be signed right now. Some of y'all really, really don't need to be signed yet because you're not ready for that. You haven't really done the thing that you needed to do now to say, I'm ready to be signed. But yeah, just keep working, keep putting in the efforts that's going to be needed once you're signed, so that it has already created a habit. So now you're in a habit of doing certain things, so that once you get signed, that ain't gonna ever change. I'm still gonna be doing my networking. I'm still gonna be like going to class. I'm still gonna be making sure I'm gonna have my relationships with such and such. I'm still gonna be sending out my emails of like in 2023. If y'all ain't sending emails out to say, hey, oh my God, Happy New Year. Here's my updated resume. Here's my updated reel. I look forward to seeing you in 2023. Blah, blah, blah. If you ain't doing that top of January, don't even talk about no agent. Cause that's the least of your worries. That's the least of your worries. So start putting in the work for yourself. Don't be waiting on nobody else. Don't be trying to say, oh, I can't find no jobs. I don't be knowing what's going on. That's everybody saying to me. I don't be knowing what's going on. I don't be hearing about nothing. It's like, trust me, you can find out. It's not gonna be that hard. And if you don't be hearing nothing, that means you're not in it. That means you're on the surface and you're not enthralled in it. So like you're like playing with it. You can't play with it. Like this is for real. This is not a game. Folks out here gigging, okay? They are working, they are traveling, they are hitting it back and forth, to and fro, in the country, out the country. So it's happening. And I know folks that ain't signed, they doing all that. So that don't matter. You can get to the thing that you're trying to get to if you're serious about it. And don't use the agent excuse. That's like done. Y'all, social media is the agent. Social media is the agent. Okay, we're going to do another live about that. I won't go into that. But does anybody have any questions before I end it? I don't want to keep y'all on too long. I promised to get on here today because this was a hot topic. And I wanted to answer some of the questions that people had about the agency. And just, and wherever you are, I know a lot of people... Like, I know a lot of my students aren't even in Georgia or LA, whatever. So a lot of people are just dispersed across the country. And wherever you are, like I'm telling y'all, wherever you are, you can do the things I'm saying now. You don't have to like, oh my God, like I can't do nothing because I'm not in the city and I don't have an agent. And it's like, stop using that as an excuse. Like, get to it. Find and connect who you need to connect with. Get on this Instagram thing. I'm telling you, it's literally... it's popping. Like you can get the gigs that you're trying to get literally on your phone. Yes, you can get signed to 2 separate agencies as long as they are acting and dance separate, not 2 dance agencies and definitely not 2 acting agencies. They literally need to be 2 separate entities as far as just the services. Like your acting agent is never going to be trying to submit you for no dance gig, audition, rehearsal, stuff like that. They're never doing that. They're only going to be submitting you really through a lot of stuff that might be through Actors Access. And every dancer should have Actors Access account. Like everybody should have an Actors Access account where you are getting emails and notifications about auditions that is dealing with TV and film and commercials and like, you know, other stuff that's like related to that. It won't be any dance auditions on there. It's going to be strictly acting jobs, television jobs. But if you have an acting agent, you can't have another acting agent. And then if you have a dance agent, you can't have another dance agent. It's like you either, you know, you're signed to one or the other. And you know, most of the time, even with dance agents, you still get opportunities to do acting stuff because they'll get the same notification sometimes for acting. It may be more dance related, and then, you know, you might end up getting an opportunity to do acting, but two separate ones for the different things, but not two of the same. Like no two dance and no two acting. No agent here, but I've heard how to be in it with this program. Oh, hey Jay. I was like, I didn't recognize your picture. How do we know what work is good enough to put on a resume or dance reel? If you are doing like, if it's a job, then you need to put it on there. It doesn't matter how, you know, good and whatever that is. Good enough, meaning if you worked and you got paid for it, and you know you have footage or it's a show or whatever, yes, put that on your reel. It's okay, y'all. Just don't try to, like, it's okay to not have everything all together in the beginning. It's just like, that doesn't exist. So start wherever you are. If you did a show that was you know, if you got paid, or even if you didn't get paid, and it's something that you can put on your reel or your resume, yes, put it on there. I'm gonna do a whole nother live about that with the reel stuff like that, because I know people had questions about what their reel should look like. But don't feel like y'all can't put the stuff that you worked on. Like, you did it. Be proud of it, because you got to start somewhere, and that's going to get you to the bigger job. So don't try to play it down like, oh, it's not good enough. No, it's good enough. I mean, it's a job, or you did it. It's a job. So put that on your reel. Be proud of it, because that's how you get to the bigger things. Even with, I did a bunch of small artists, and I was like I'm talking about through the roof. You would swear I was on a tour with the biggest artists in the world. Like, that's how you got to start, so that you can get to the biggest artists on the world. Like, that's how it works. You can't be like, this little, it's good enough. So you did it. Put it on your reel. Yes. Okay. So I don't think y'all had any other questions. Hopefully this was informative for some of you. I just wanted to kind of touch base with agents, because I just relate to all of it. I've done them all. I've been in everybody's positions. The biggest takeaway that I learned in my dance career, as you know, having the agency, was just not depending on my career to be in someone else's hands in regard to me not doing the stuff that I needed to be doing. So I was like, okay, well, I got to make sure I'm still creating these relationships. I'm still, making connections. I'm still sliding on choreography. I'm like, hey, just so I'm available, I'm off tour, whatever. I'm not depending on the agent to like know that I'm off tour and then they just know to give me another job. It's like, no, I'm hitting up these choreographers. I'm available. I get off tour on Thursday. So, if you got something coming up, whatever, just, I'm available. Like doing that kind of stuff. And reminding the agent, hey, just letting you know, reminding you, just in case, I've been gone for a while, but I'm off tour on Thursday. So just, letting you know. Like, that's what you got to do. Don't be assuming that they know your schedule. They got a bunch of shit going on. They like, oh, the tour's over? Okay. Yeah, no. So, cool. Hey, Nikki. Nikita, you need to go and change your Instagram handle. Y'all know better. I need Nikita Williams on there. Yeah, I'm not even about to go down that route. Sorry, y'all. I get off subject because I just be passionate about some of this stuff. Like, oh, this Instagram. This Instagram, y'all. This Instagram. But cool. So everybody have an amazing Friday weekend. I'm gonna save this video so it'll be on my page. Please share it with anybody that you know has had questions about agencies. I really am speaking not mainly, but really to a lot of newer dancers that I know some of y'all just have no clue how this kind of thing works, and so you're literally going off of kind of what you see or hear about, And, you know, everybody's thought is like, I need an agent to work. And so I'm just trying to, you know, bust that bubble and let y'all know that that ain't the case. You don't have to have an agent to work, and don't use that as the excuse as to why you're not working, because that's an easy excuse to say, I mean, I ain't got no agent, I don't be knowing what's going on, I can't get no work. And so in your mind, you done told your mind that, and so it's gonna be truth for you, and it's not true. It's false. So you heard it from me. Tell whoever else needs to know. Tell a friend. Let's get to work. Agent or no agent, it doesn't matter. All right, you guys, have an amazing Friday. Bye.